Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Caleb Likes Books. Today I have my end of the month update for January of 2025, first month of the new year, which is very exciting. So in this video I'll be talking about the books that I read over the course of this month, what I thought of them and all that kind of thing, as well as going over a book haul, which I actually got a lot of books this month, but a few of them were ones that I bought myself, and then the rest were ones that were all sent to me. And I don't know a huge amount about some of those, so I figured I could include them here because even though I have enough books to fill a book haul video, I don't think I have enough to say about all of them to actually do that, so I figured I might as well include them here. And then at the end of the video, I'll be going into some channel updates and some exciting things that have been going on lately. So first of all, we have the reading update, of course. I read several books this month. This is actually a rare example of a month where I was able to read more than what was on my TBR, which is interesting, especially considering that I read Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson this month, which is a huge book. And so I was kind of excited to be able to read a little bit extra. I'm recording this a few days before it's supposed to go up. I don't know if I will have finished the extra stuff by the time this video comes out, but it's possible that I have. We'll see. Or at the very least, I'll have gotten a head start on February's TBR, which is cool. So, of course, as I just mentioned, I read Wind and Truth this month, so I'll talk about that one first. I started this one in late December, because I got it for Christmas, and read it over the course of a few weeks. And also, I think all of the reviews for these books will be coming out in February. I'm actually like a month ahead on videos right now, which is really fun, and it kind of takes some stress off of me. But I read this, and I actually really, really liked it. I'm not too surprised by that because I love Sanderson, I love Stormlight. The reception to this one seems to be a bit more mixed than normal, and I can see why. I've actually, since I finished reading it, have been listening to a lot of like spoiler reviews and things like that. I tried to limit that before I read the book. I did check out reviews from a couple of people that I particularly enjoy their reviews. Of course, the spoiler-free versions if they were there. But since I finished the book, I've been looking into more people's thoughts and things like that. This one does seem to have gotten a more mixed reception, and I can understand a lot of the criticisms, and I even agree with some of them. But I personally just loved my time with this book. I loved most things about it. I think it was a great ending to the first arc of Stormlight. I enjoyed it on a similar level to all the other books. I wouldn't say it's my favorite in the series. It's probably... right now, I'd probably put it my third favorite Stormlight book, I would say. So kind of in the middle. As time goes on, it could go up, it could go down, who knows. I will say the ending of the book I thought was amazing, so just that alone could cause it to shift up into number 2. We'll see how it goes with time. But I really loved Wind and Truth. I had a great time with it. Next, I also read Rule of Two, Star Wars Darth Bane Book 2, which I also really enjoyed. I thought this one was a lot of fun. I've been working my way through the Darth Bane trilogy over the course of the last couple months. Been wanting to reread these books, so I'll be reading Book 3 soon as well. And I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it, I think, a bit more than I did the first time around. I actually enjoyed this one more than the first book, which was not the case the first time around, and had a really good time with it. Next, I read Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the novelization of the video game, which was surprisingly excellent. I say surprisingly because the other 2 Assassin's Creed books I've read were good, they were enjoyable, they were good novelizations, but that's pretty much all they were. They were good. I enjoyed them. This one added a lot to the video game. It was exactly what I would want out of a novelization, where a lot of it was just stuff from the video game, but it also added a lot of new things that really added a lot of extra context, a lot of extra story that I really enjoyed. And I just had a blast reading this book. This month actually in general was a very good reading month for me because I had, I think, 2 or 3 5-star books this month. Of course, I don't usually rate books on my channel in terms of 5 stars. I usually do a 1 to 10 scale. But in terms of what I rated them on like Goodreads and stuff, I think I had 2 or 3 5-star books this month, which is awesome. Or I know I had 3 actually, because all 3 of these first ones were 5 stars. So started the year off really strong. Also read The Rise of Tyrannotopia, which is a book by Alan Gurnia and Elmer Moritz, I think is the name of the authors. They're two of the band members for the band Distant, which I'm actually wearing one of their shirts right now, coincidentally. They're a band that I love, and they have released a handful of books based on or a handful of books telling the lore behind the lyrics that they use in their music, which I think is really cool. And this one I started as well in December and continued on throughout the month. I read it a little bit slowly, read it kind of bit by bit. It's a short book, but I kind of took some time with it. And enjoyed this one quite a bit too. Wasn't the greatest absolute best story in terms of story or characters or things like that, but the bits of world building that were in there and the tone and the feel of it were really cool. I really enjoyed the atmosphere of it, and it was an enjoyable book. Prose was a little rough for sure. This is a band I think from the Netherlands. And so clearly English is not their first language, so the writing's a little rough here and there. But in terms of the actual story that was being told, in terms of the tone and the atmosphere and the world building and all that kind of stuff, it was a cool read. I enjoyed it. The last two books that I have to talk about, one of which is on my TBR for January, and one is actually on my February TBR that I got a head start on. I'm actually currently, at the time of recording this, in the process of reading. These are short enough that I hope I will have them done by the time this video comes out. In fact, I think at least this first one I will have done by the time this video comes out, because I'm working through this one pretty quickly. So the first one is The Last Witch, which is the first Witcher book. This is the one of two collections of short stories within the Witcher series, which I am rereading. I've been wanting to dive back into The Witcher for a long time now, a couple of years now. But at first I just didn't have the later books in order to be able to do that, and then I got them, and they just kept getting pushed back further and further, to the point where I didn't remember this series all that well, so I'm rereading 5 of the books, 5 out of 8. First of all, to refresh my memory, but also I didn't love the books the first time around. I thought the short stories were pretty good, but the rest I didn't care for. So I'm curious to see if my opinion shifts on those at all, and if maybe revisiting them will get me excited about this series again. But so far, I've read a little over half of this book at time of recording this, and I'm enjoying it so far. I've read 4 of the short stories within it. I really liked the first 2. The third and fourth ones were decent. Some cool concepts and things like that, but I didn't quite love them on the same level. But the first 2 short stories in here are fantastic. And so hopefully I enjoy this one a bit by the time that I finish it. I currently predict that I will feel similarly about it from the first time I read it. So we'll see. And then the last book that I have to talk about is from my February TBR that I got a head start on, so you get to see a little sneak peek of what I'm planning in February. And that is 50 Shades of Grey, the first book in that trilogy. This one, you might remember if you've seen some of my book hauls. I got this one some months back, and just kind of on a whim. It was just kind of available in a book bin at the grocery store that I used to work at. And so I just grabbed it along with the other 2 books and figured I would at least read the first book, and I figured I would read it in February. So currently I am planning to release my review for this book on Valentine's Day. I think that would be somewhat appropriate. So I figured since I wanted to have this review out at a particular time, I would get a head start on it while I can. So far, I've only just started it today at time of recording this. I'm only a little ways through it. No strong thoughts so far. I feel like the dialogue and characterization's a little odd at times, but the dialogue at times can be somewhat amusing. Some funny little bits and pieces here and there. I do know this story. I have seen the 50 Shades movies a couple of times. I don't know why, but I have. And so I know the story. I know what to expect going into this, but I am curious to see how this is going to go. Because I think so far I can appreciate it on certain levels, but I know there are things coming up that I am not going to be particularly into. So we'll see how that goes. At the very least, I think it'll make for an amusing video. So, of course, now that I've talked about all the books that I read, I'm going to talk about the books that I got this month. I bought myself 3 books. I was sent, I think, 6 or 7 books, and then one more that I got just for free on Kindle that was available for free for a promotion. So first I'll talk about the books that I bought. So first things first, I bought Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. My wife and I went out to dinner recently, and the place where we went has a cute little bookstore right next door. It's small, but it's full of books, and so I found a couple things to grab, and this was one of the things that I got. I thought this would be just kind of a fun little read, something different for Stephen King. I've so far pretty much been reading his horror, and this is one of his fantasy books. This one tends to get a little bit more of a mixed reception in his fan base, I've noticed. Most people don't consider it to be one of his best or anything, but I thought it'd be something a little different, something fun to read. I might read this over the summer, because I do want to start getting into the habit of reading at least a few Stephen King books every year, and this one's short enough that I think I'd like to check it out soon, and you know, it's a fantasy book. It should be interesting, a little bit different. So I'm excited for that. I also bought the third and fourth Dune books, which are Children of Dune and God Emperor of Dune. Funny story with this one. Some of you may not know this, but I, before this, only owned the first Dune book. And I made a mistake when I went out and got these. When we went to the bookstore, they had side stacked all the Dune books that they had, and for some reason they were out of order. I don't know if they had Dune Messiah there, which is the second book, which I'm now missing. I don't know if they had that there or not, but if they did, it was not underneath the first book and above Children of Dune. So me, not even thinking about it, just grabbed the second and third books that were on the shelf, didn't even check to see which ones they were. And so now I have books 1, 3, and 4 of Dune. So I guess at least now I've committed to read up to book 4. So I'll have to grab book 2 at some point. But hopefully I enjoy these whenever I get around to them. I would like to check out some more Dune. Next, I'm just going to kind of rapid fire off the books that I was sent by indie authors. These are all indie books. So first I was sent Theft of Fire by Devin Erickson. His wife sent this to me, which is very nice. I also received Nightmare Arcanist by Shami Stovall. This is the first book in one of her series. Sounds pretty interesting, so I'm excited to check that out. I was also sent Panopticon Volume 1, edited by Blake Armstrong. This is a short story collection. I was also sent the first 2 books, as well as the prequel novella in the Smokesmith series by João Silva. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that person's name correct. If so, I apologize. Excited to read those. I think those look pretty cool. The covers look really cool. Finally, I also grabbed The Fall of Sylvandra by Tim McKay. This is the book that was being given away on Kindle, so I figured I might as well grab it. All of those are indie fantasy books, which I would love to read more of. Glad to support these authors, glad to shout them out, happy to eventually be able to read these. I'm excited to check them out. So next, of course, we have channel update stuff, which there's not a whole lot to talk about, but the things that are here to talk about are very exciting. So first things first, in January, we surpassed 800 subscribers. I've gained over 50 subscribers this month, which is very unusual for me, but very exciting. So well on our way to 1,000 here probably in the next few months, which is super cool. Very happy about that. So thank you to all of you who have recently subscribed and checked out the channel and continued to support what I do here. I appreciate it a lot. And hopefully you stick around and enjoy the stuff that I do here. I also had a few really well-performing videos this month, which I'm very happy about. I had my book haul that I did for December that came out this month, which is, I think, my most viewed book haul at the moment, which is really cool, and I think deservedly so, because it was huge. Very happy about that. I thought that was kind of fun. I also had another video, which was my reading tips video that I did, that has actually gotten a fair amount of views for what I usually do on this channel. It's gotten, I think, right now 500 or 600 views, which granted is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but for my channel, that is a very good performing video, which I'm very happy about, which kind of surprised me because I did not expect it to get that kind of a reception. I just kind of filmed it on a whim and it was like, this is something I've been wanting to talk about a while. I'll just kind of put it out there. Did not expect it to go as well as it did, so thank you for that as well, I suppose. And I also put out my New Year's Q&A. So if any of you are interested in checking that out, you can go and do that. That was a lot of fun to do. I enjoy doing Q&A style videos here and there. So that was a lot of fun as well. The final major update type thing for this video is actually something that I am very excited about and is a first for me. And that is that I was contacted by Jason at Bane Books. who was reaching out to me to see if I would like to be sent their books, which is super exciting. It's the first time that a traditional publisher has contacted me and offered to send me books, which is super cool. Very excited about that. I saw that message in the morning when it was sent to me, and I just kind of sat there for a second, like, is this really happening right now? Like, that's super cool. So over the course of, however long, I will apparently be receiving books from Baen, which is very exciting. I don't know how many of them I'll be actually checking out. I'm sure I probably will not be able to get to everything, but I certainly will check some of them out and hopefully review some of them on the channel and shout out those books whenever I grab them. Of course, they will be sending me their monthly releases and things like that, which is super exciting. I'm very happy about that. Of course, that's a first for me. This is the first publisher that has offered to do that, which is really cool. So thank you to Jason and Baen for offering to do that. So that pretty much wraps up this little update. A little longer than normal, but I did read quite a few books this month. I had the haul, then a few updates at the end and things like that. So a fair amount to talk about in this update. So of course, let me know in the comments what you think about the stuff I talked about here, which of the books that I read you're most excited to hear me review. I believe all of the books that I discussed in this video will have reviews out in February, or the Witcher book may even be pushed into March, I don't know, or some of the other ones may even get pushed back potentially. But either way, I think all of these books, as far as I can remember, have not had the reviews come out yet. So whichever ones you're most excited to hear my thoughts on, let me know in the comments. And if you read anything cool this month, let me know that in the comments as well. Let me know what you checked out. So that's pretty much it for this one. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.